Hi everybody, my name is Jens Larsen. In this video I'm going to take a look at a few phrases from a guitar solo by Rene Thomas, who's a Belgian guitar player. He's probably a little bit overlooked. I only know him from a few compilations there where I have a track here and there where he's playing. But one of my supporters over on Patreon recommended that I check him out, and there are some really great albums of his that I've been checking out now. He's a very solid bebop player. And that's also really what I think the phrases in this video show. They're well worth checking out if you like some more mainstream bop repertoire. In his short career, he managed to move from Belgium to Paris to Canada, and he also toured and recorded with people like Sonny Rollins and Chet and Stan Getz. If you want to learn more about jazz guitar, improve the way that you solo, check out some interesting arpeggios or chord voicings, then subscribe to my channel. If you want to make sure not to miss anything, then click the little bell notification icon next to the subscribe button. This recording of Like Someone in Love is in the key of A flat. And the first example here is when the song goes to the 4th degree, so that's in bar 9, so the second 8 bars of the song. And he comes out here just really clearly on the 3rd of the D flat, so on the F. And it's a little bit as if he's extending. So the song at this point is like D flat major 7, and then it goes to F major, just using a G minor 7, C7 to F major 7. And he's a little bit extending the G minor C7 so that it's already in the D flat bar, and it's actually also extending into the F major bar. So we have first the F, and then encircling the D flat, so that's the E flat and C. Then a D flat major triad as a triplet. And then here on beat 4 with the G, he's already going to G minor. And then we get this pretty common encircling or enclosure of the 3rd of C7. So on beat 2, we actually already have the C7. And then we get this nice skip down a 6 and then up the arpeggio, so from the E and then down to G, up the triad here, so B flat and D, and then back to the B flat, so and then up to C, up the C major triad, and then he finally resolves to F on beat 3, and then adding a high C afterwards. So what we have here is that he's kind of extending the G minor C7 to begin one beat earlier on beat 4 of the previous bar, and then extend all the way into the F major 7 bar and resolving on beat 3. It's also worth noticing that he's actually playing, so 9 out of 10 times when you hear this area on a C7 with chromaticism, it's going to be descending. Like this, but he uses it he goes the other way, which kind of fits with so it kind of has a little bit of a motif idea with the chromaticism, and then following that up with ascending triad, first the G minor and then the C. Rene Thomas is extremely creative when it comes to using arpeggios in his lines. He's pretty much using them in a traditional way, the same way that you would find in most other bop-oriented playing, where the arpeggio is a 7th chord arpeggio, and then it's played with either the root or a leading note, and then using a triplet to just create sort of a more exciting movement that's shooting up to a high target note. That's, I guess, is the main idea. But he's also chaining together different arpeggios, and he also manages to have sort of motif ideas or motivic ideas that move across different changes, and that's what this example is really illustrating quite well. So it's again on the same spot, so centered around the place where the song goes to the 4th degree. Now it's in the second half of the first chorus. We're coming in on 2 bars before it actually goes to the 4th degree, so on the tonic chord, on the A flat. The first arpeggio is just an F minor 7 arpeggio on the A flat major. From here it goes to E flat minor, and he's playing, well, pretty much only chromaticism here, so he starts on the 9 and then just moving on beat 3 to the 5th of A flat 7, and then down the arpeggio. And then here we get an ascending arpeggio figure, so F. This naturally takes us down to the F on the D flat major 7. So again, the third really clearly, and then a G, and then a triplet A flat major triad. So this is kind of coming out of an F minor arpeggio down to the C. So here the target note is really the C, so the 7th of the chord, going on with a D flat major 7 arpeggio, and then this really nicely takes us to the B flat on the G minor. And here I'm not sure exactly how he plays this, but I think he skips down and then plays another B flat major 7 or another major 7 arpeggio, which is a B flat major 7 arpeggio, but then down here, and then going to a C7 altered by going up and taking this E flat, which is the sharp 9, pulling off to the flat 9. And the resolution to the F major 7 is then first with a chromatic enclosure, so starting on the sharp 11, and then down to the 3rd, 9th, and then going under to pick the 7th, and then up to the root to end the line. The reason that I can keep on publishing videos every week is that I have a community of people over on Patreon that are supporting the channel. I'm very grateful for their support, and it's because of that that I can keep on making all these very specific jazz guitar and music theory videos. If you want to help me keep making videos, then check out my Patreon page. And if you join us over on Patreon, I can also give you something in return for your support. Keeping in mind that this solo was recorded in 1959 or 1960, which besides being the year where you should have bought a new Les Paul, is also kind of early to find somebody really emphasizing sort of the Lydian dominant sound on the 5/5, which I think is kind of what Rene Thomas is doing here. So we're in the key of A flat, and the 5 is E flat 7, so the 5/5 is a B flat 7. And in this example, we first get an F minor triad as a pickup, and then on B3 we really get that E, so that sharp 11 sound, which sort of spells out a Lydian dominant for the B flat 7, and then a transition down to the 5th of B flat minor 7, encircling the 3rd, so really clearly going to the E flat 7, a few alterations, and then sliding into the 5th of A flat for the next half of the song. It's also interesting to notice that even though I'm not using it as an example, Rene Thomas is really using blues and really like minor blues on the first part of the form. So where we have really the tonic as a major chord, so A flat major 7 to C7 over G to F minor. And this part is really very major and also moving a lot, and he chooses to play, I think most of the time he actually goes to these type of phrases and not really to like the straight ahead Bob phrases so that are spelling out the changes. If there is another guitar player that you think is slightly overlooked, then leave a comment on this video. It's kind of fun to check out some new music, and of course if you leave a name and maybe an album recommendation and also a short description of why you think they're great, then there's a lot of stuff for the rest of us to check out, and I'm sure that everybody who's watching this video is curious. If you want to check out another guitar player who's also, at least in the slightly less famous category, then check out this video that I did on some solo phrases from Ed Bickert, where he's playing Have You Met Miss Jones. If you want to learn more about jazz guitar, then subscribe to my channel. If you want to help me keep making videos, then check out my Patreon page. That's about it for this time. Thank you for watching, and until next time.